What's happening, fam? LAR movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. But this video is entitled God Can Listen to You Too. You know, some people in life feels like God listens to other people, but not to them. Some people feel as though God hears other people's prayers, but not theirs. It's for the spiritual people out there, for the religious people out there. God has put a blessing over some people's lives and not other people's lives. And because of that, some people have lost faith, lost their way. Turn to their own understanding and reasonings and ideologies. Now, I'm not going to get into the weeds with this about, Christianity, religion given by this, that, and the third. This is not what this is about. For anybody who wants to just take it left in the comment section, this is not what this is about. This is about the ideology of people not trusting God because what they're seeing is unfairness. They're seeing that if God has a plan, how come his plan is to help those people and not help me? How come is his plan to help those people and not help me? I mean, how come it's in his plan to bless those people and not bless me? How come it's in his plan to make sure I suffer, but make sure these people don't suffer? Why are good people going through bad things? And you don't see these good people ever going through good things. How come it's calamity after calamity after calamity? How come you say if you just be patient and wait on God, he's going to show up and bless you? How come I've watched people in my own life wait on God their whole life and die? And I've seen people, praise God on one end and do evil deeds on the other end and saying God bless them. So they feel like God's not listening to them. And I'm going to say God listens to you too. Now, the question sometimes is, if he listens to me, well, what kind of answer is this that I'm getting? And for some of y'all can understand it. See, some people are in a situation where life, they talk to God, God listened, God answered, and they feel like somebody got in the way of their answer. Sometimes I think people feel as though God was giving you a blessing and somebody stepped in and stole it and was like, but God responded like, my bad. Well, they took it. So what you going I sent it. It's not my problem that they stole it. But, then you say, well, what are the 10 commandments about? Thou shalt not steal. If they stole it, shouldn't you get it from them and give it to me? Because it was sent to me, right? Kind of like somebody sends you a package through the post office, right? And somebody steals the package. When they find out who stole it, it has to get replaced, and they get in trouble. They get arrested. They get convicted for theft. There is no theft. There's no arrest and theft for stealing other people's blessings, right? So you don't feel as though God's listening to you, but sometimes you may not be ready for God actually listening to you, because sometimes you don't fully know what you're asking for. See, God listens to you too. You may be asking for happiness, but you're going to get pain so you can understand what happiness is. See, it doesn't, and this is where you got to understand God listens to you too. You just can't have the good part of the blessing without the bad part of the blessing. That's not how it goes. Just for you people who shortcut it, and you watching people shortcut it and they get ahead, that's not how the story ends. That's the part you showed up and saw. You saw the good part. You're not going to see the bad part. You might be living your best life when they're dealing with the bad part, if you understand me. Because God listens to you too. You know, because one thing I can say for sure, life has unfair moments, but it ends fairly. That's why, you know, even bad people have good days, but because they were bad people, they end badly. No bad people don't walk into the sunset of life because they're reaping what they sow. Good people have bad days, but in the end of the day, they walk off into the sunset because they were good people. So God does listen to you. Now, the question is God giving you the material things you want? Because sometimes the desires of our heart are material and not spiritual. You know, if you pray to God for material, you may get material, but you got to understand something. God ain't in the business of material. And when people are so fixated on material things, you can, quote unquote, gain the world and lose your soul. You know why? Because you worship materials are your idols. You worship material. You know, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of it. The ideology that you love money more than your life itself. You shouldn't let a piece of paper make you feel like your life is worthless. Okay? You can have an impact with little to no money. That's a fact. You know, that's part of life. But God listens to you too. Now, on a more positive note, you need to understand that in a spiritual sense, sometimes God listens to you and protects you from your own prayers. Because sometimes you don't know what your prayers entail. And if you're a good person, you're getting looked out for. It don't seem like it. It's kind of like when you want something real bad and you don't get it and you get mad about it. And then you grow and then you realize, I'm glad I didn't get that because that would have made my situation a whole lot worse. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes that blessing that you're waiting on, it's there, it's yours, it's on the way, it's held in traffic. But you got to get, how can I say this? And it sounds messed up to say this, but you got to get in a good space to receive the blessing and still be the best you that you can be internally. They don't want to give you, sometimes God doesn't want to give you something when you're not your best you and you're impatient, because it's going to amplify the worst aspects of your character and not the best aspects of your character. You know, it's hard to have a pure heart. It's hard. It's hard to be loving and forgiving in this society. It's hard to not be envious of people in this society. You know, it's hard to soften your heart. A lot of people have a hard, cold heart. I'm a harsh guy. But I understand that, some of the things I've been a person who's like, you know what, I'm going to stop praying. I'll tell you why. Because obviously I don't think I'm praying for the right things. Because what I'm praying for is not working out. Actually, it's working in reverse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just say this, I'm going to be the best human being I can be, and just say thanks for what I get, because the things I put out into the universe, I do understand that part of it is pure, but part of it is negative, and I keep getting the negative part back. But here's the thing, and I must be honest, I don't think being the negative part is a problem, because we have it in us. I think I can, can I be 100% pure in everything I say and pray for? I'm not sure, because I might be 100% pure about what I put out into the universe, but the part of me that's dark can affect that, and it has nothing to do with my intentions. It's because I have darkness in me like everybody else, and it affects the energy of what I put out into the universe. So, but I think that's a normal thing. We're human beings. We have a good side, we have a bad side. The question is, which side are you feeding? I feel like I'm feeding my good side more than I am my bad side, but they both exist. So does God listen to me? Yes. I would hope God gives more credence to my good side than my bad side, but you never know. And sometimes you feel entitled for God to listen to you. Sometimes God, everybody, there are people in worse situations than you, so you might have to pick a number. That's just the reality of it. You might have to pick a number. He listens to you, but guess what? The thing about being omnipotent is the thing about who needs it right now. Because what you may think you need right now, if you tested your urgency against somebody else's urgency right now, you'd be like, oh, they need it more than I do. And, but God listens to you. I mean, you may not come when you call, always on time. CP time? Maybe. But maybe just perfect timing for it to be all right. Sometimes when you feel like you got something late, it's still a perfect time to get it, because you don't know how it would affect it if you got it early, or on your earlier than you thought, or on the time schedule that you wanted. And it might have even affected the people around you, because sometimes, and I'm going to leave when I say this, sometimes God listens to you and don't want to answer you until you get rid of the people around you who will ruin the very thing you asked for. And you don't realize that until it's over with. Because everybody doesn't need to be in your life. Some people don't steal your blessings. Some people don't sabotage your blessings. Some people just siphon your blessings from you. They ride the coattails of your blessings, and sometimes God's like, I'm gonna give it to you, but but when you grow out of that person, and you don't know these things, and that's the part about being spiritual. You don't know the magic words to say, the magic things to do. This is all a process, and there ain't gonna be no good answer, right answer. I'm gonna give you a sign and say you're going on the right path. You don't know. Some people just got, or maybe more on point than you, or some people just may be luckier than you, or some people may be fast starters and you may be a slow starter. You may be a strong finisher. You may be a late bloomer when it comes to it. They may be burnt out. You just don't know. But what you do know is, be true to yourself, so God could be true to you, and you could be true to God at the same time. Like, man, look, because there's nothing wrong with saying, look, God, I feel like you there for me. And there's also nothing wrong to say, I feel like you overlooking me. Like, I'm important too. But you don't have to throw a tantrum. He listens. So I'm out. Peace.